go.
Don't want to go on record.
What's
with
the,
Good evening. This is the Grand Terrace County Board of Commissioners. This is Thursday, December 26, 2013. If we'd all turn your cell phones off or put them on silence, I would appreciate it. We'll have the opening ceremonies with the pledge and with the prayer by Dr. Lathrop. Ladies.
Our dear God, we love you and we thank you for your love toward us. We think especially these days about the gift that you gave us in a child so many years ago. But I'm also reminded about when Gabriel spoke to Mary and she said, "Whatever you say, let it be in me as you have spoken." That humble woman's belief changed the world forever. So tonight I want to thank you, God, for mothers and families and fathers and children. The family is the heart of our country, a God-believing family. God bless you, God. Thank you so much for your love. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Next, we have roll call, please.
Commissioner Lathrop,
Here.
Max Bauer. Here. Wheelock,
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas.
Here.
Inman,
Here.
Rennie,
Yes.
Lemkool.
Here. Next, we have the approval of minutes of November 27th, the regular board meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the November 27th regular board meeting minutes.
Support. Motion support by Wheelock. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Next is the first public comment. We read them.
Any person shall be permitted to address a meeting of the Board of Commissioners which is required to be open to the public under the provision of the Michigan Open Meetings Act as amended. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following board rules and procedures. 1. Any person wishing to address the board shall state his or her name and address. 2. No person shall be allowed to speak more than once on the same matter, excluding time needed to answer commissioners' questions. The chairperson shall control the amount of time each person shall be allowed to speak, which shall not exceed 3 minutes. Chairperson may, at his or her discretion, extend the amount of time any person is allowed to speak.
Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak at this time? Larry?
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Larry Fleece. I live at 5237 Norton Road in the metropolis of Braun. And I'm here to talk tonight about a vote that Lathrop, an issue that Lathrop voted on December 11th. I feel very strongly that he has an absolute conflict of interest, and I spoke at public comment on December 11th, and Lathrop, you interrupted me, and I didn't hear your first comment, so I asked you to repeat it. And you said I needed to follow the rules like everyone else. I guess you thought you were the chairman, but you were mistaken because Inman was the chairman that night. I'd like to ask you to do the right thing tonight, that a person with integrity would do. Like you spoke in the Record Eagle article on Sunday, December 15th, it was published. And you said you changed your mind about recusing yourself from McKellier's related votes after he took office. You said the issue of stormwater control is too important for him to sit out on such votes, for you to sit out. There's plenty of room for a man with integrity to make this decision. That's a quote from you. I submit to you that integrity was not used by you on December 11th. And I would, well, I have a short declaration of conflict of interest that Blair Township uses, and it says in brief, a member shall refrain from voting/deliberating on an issue in which they may have a financial gain or have a direct interest in the outcome. And I think you have both, actually, down the road.
30 seconds.
So I would ask you tonight to recuse yourself from any votes or discussions held on McKillie's matters as the drain commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to make public comment? Seeing none, we go on to the consent calendar, please.
Get approve the agenda.
Oh, excuse me. Let's approve the agenda. Is there any additional items on the agenda?
Get claims.
Do we have a closed session?
Do not.
We do not.
Is
Okay.
claims here?
Chairman, I would move to approve
Yeah,
the
claims
agenda
are-
as
okay.
provided.
Support by Rennie. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Oh, roll call.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas?
Yep.
Inman?
Yep.
Rennie?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Lemko?
Yes. Motion's approved. Next is the consent calendar. If you'd read that, please.
The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with by one commission motion without discussion. Any member of the commission, staff, or the public may ask that any item on the consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will be automatically respected. If any item is not removed from the consent calendar, the action noted, receive and file, or approval, is approved by a single commission action adopting the consent calendar. Receive and file. Number 1, correspondence from Third Level and Child and Family Services. Number 2, Area Agency on Aging of Northwest Michigan, minutes of October 3rd. Number 3, Northwest Michigan Community Action Agency, minutes of October 17th. Number 4, Department of Human Services, minutes of October 25th. Number 5, Northwestern Regional Airport Commission, minutes of October 29th. Number 6, Board of Public Works, minutes of November 7th. Number 7, Special Board of Public Works Finance Committee minutes of November 7th. Number 8, Road Commission Road Tour minutes of November 19th. Number 9, Northern Lakes Community Mental Health minutes of November 21st. Number 10, Road Commission minutes of November 21st. Number 11, Northwestern Regional Airport Commission minutes of November 26th. Number 12, Special Road Commission minutes of December 4th. Number 13, Road Commission Study Session minutes of December 4th. Approvals. The Public Health and Safety Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 14, Commission on Aging, acceptance of credit card payments. Number 15, Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office, approval to purchase dive rescue and recovery vehicle. Number 16, Commission on Aging, acceptance of foundation donation. Number 17, reappointment of Russell Wentworth to the Veterans Board. The Resource Management and Administration Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 18, Fair Housing Resolution. Number 19, approval of intergovernmental agreements, stormwater ordinance, administration, and enforcement. Number 20, Martin Luther King Training Day 2014. Number 21, Traverse Area District Library Agreement regarding library appointments. The Ways and Means Committee recommends approval of the following. Number 22, ESRI GIS Software Support Maintenance Renewal. Number 23, ImageSoft OnBase Software Maintenance Support Renewal. Number 24, Non-Community Water Supply Renewal Agreement. Number 25, Health Department 2012 Annual Report. Number 26, Fiscal Year 2013-2014 CPBC Agreement Amendment Number 1. Number 27, Grand Traverse Regional Healthcare Coalition Service Agreement Renewal. Number 28, Sheriff's Office Staffing Plan Amendment. Number 29, Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act, Public Act 152. Number 30, Agent of Record Agreement, Brown & Brown. Number 31, Employee Assistance Program Contract Renewal for 2014. Number 32, Budget Adjustments. Number 33, Travel Policy Addendum 2014. Number 34, Required Appointments, Boards and Committees, etc. Number 35, New World System Upgrade.
Having heard the consent agenda, is there anybody from the audience that'd like something removed? Bill?
I'd like number 19.
Okay, number 19 should be removed. Anybody else from the audience like anything removed? Anybody from the commission like anything removed? Motion to approve the consent agenda, less the item number 19 is in order. So Mr. Rennie makes the motion, support by Mr. Wheelock. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Wheelock?
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas?
Yep.
Inman?
Yes.
Rennie?
Yes.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
I don't know, I can't bring it up.
You could find it if you had paper.
I know, I'm getting there.
Paper, you need paper?
Well, I need the packet, hang on just a second. Just bear with me. Like,
You lost it, huh?
no, hang on. Okay, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I do apologize, I was having technical difficulties.
Don't ever do that again.
Chairman Limco?
Yes.
You don't even have yours.
Motion's carried.
The Dickey
Next, is
plan.
there any special orders of business? Do you see none? Items removed from consent calendar, which is now item number 19. Approve an intergovernmental agreement, stormwater ordinance administration and enforcement. That was pulled by Mr. Bill Klaus. Would you like to make comment, Bill? Yeah. Okay. Remember, you have 3 minutes.
Yes, I'll be brief. My name's Bill Klaus. I live on Hannah Road in Kingsley area. And I wanted another opportunity to talk about this proposed agreement. Real candidly, any of the municipalities within the county can generate their own stormwater agreement, their own stormwater plan, whatever they want to do, without burdening the pocketbook or the staff or the employees of the county. They can do it on their own if it's important. It just shouldn't be something that the costs are borne by all of the county residents, because the county's already decided that they didn't want to have this program. And the other thing that I'd come right back to is you really don't need a stormwater ordinance. Part 91, Part 303, and 305. They've been doctrined for years, and honestly, handle all of that. Part 91 governs the movement of particulate matter, be it by water, air, or otherwise. It would seem to me that would certainly take care of stormwater. The other thing, too, that I wanted to point out, your chief building inspector, Bruce Ramey, has been doing a wonderful job with the soil erosion and sedimentation, managing and enforcing that. He's been doing a great job, and I don't know, I'm sure you folks hear negative things quite often, but you ought to be aware of that. He's done a wonderful job. His entire staff has done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Anybody else from the audience like to make comment? Commissioners, would you like to make comment? Chris?
I supported this in committee, and I still support it. I do believe that this is a township issue, township to township. The county does not have a stormwater control ordinance. The townships either choose to adopt them or they choose not to adopt them. And the drain commissioner has said that he will do this for the townships that want it. In this case, there are two of them. Well, actually, a township and a village. There's Fife Lake Township and Fife Lake Village. And the supervisor of Fife Lake Village called me after my vote, after committee, and thanked me for supporting Fife Lake Township and the fact that they are acting independently and able to act independently. And since the Fife Lake supervisor is here, I wanted to know I continue to support their right to choose whether or not they have a stormwater ordinance. And I can't see that there's any conflict if the drain commissioner is willing to do this at no cost. I just don't get it. It would be, in my opinion, like my husband, who is a certified lifeguard, volunteering to lifeguard for nothing. Why not? So my vote's going to be to support this.
Larry? Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve item 19, approval of interlocal agreement, stormwater ordinance administration enforcement with Fife Lake Township and Fife Lake Village, and my understanding that Paradise Township does not wish to get involved. Kingsley. It would be Kingsley Village? Okay. So the motion would be just for Fife Lake Township and Fife Lake Village. So that's my motion on the floor.
I would,
Wait a minute, I need a second.
I'm gonna, that's what I had my paw out
Okay.
for.
All right. I have a motion and a second.
No, wait a minute. I would support it with a change to the resolution.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm asking for a change to the resolution, the 4 townships I represent don't want anything to do with it. Long Lake Township doesn't want anything to do with it. And as far as I'm concerned, the best way it can be done is township by township, piecemeal, if you will. But I'd like to take the resolution and at the very end of it where it says, the Village of Kingsley, and they're out of it. Village of Fife Lake Township, to provide administration and enforcement of their township, of their stormwater ordinance, and I would like to add to that, at no cost to the county.
Yeah, I'd be fine with
Because
that.
you know you're going to end up with the prosecutor putting time and money into it. So,
Yeah, I would agree with that as the motion maker.
Okay,
So what are the implications of that? This no cost, how does that work?
There's no cost.
If they're going to reimburse the
No,
prosecutor.
they would
or the civil-
reimburse.
Does that
Yeah.
No
work?
cost is by the drain commissioner. Doesn't say anything about the guy that's going to have to prosecute it
Okay, my point is though, at no cost to the county,
to the county.
does that mean that the local township or unit would have to
They
then
would
pay for that?
They pay the
I
prosecutor.
understand, okay. Everyone understand that?
Yeah,
I think that would eliminate any idea of a conflict in any way, shape, or form as well.
yep, I'd be fine with that.
Mr.
change.
Wheeler.
Well, of the 13 townships in Grand Traverse County, to the best of my knowledge, the only township that has any interest whatsoever in this stormwater ordinance at this time anyway is Fife Lake Township. The county board has ruled earlier in this year that we wanted nothing to do with the stormwater ordinance. The townships, majority of them have said they don't want to, and I believe that the county should stay out of it. And I will not support the ordinance or the intergovernmental agreement.
Any other discussion? Mr. Rennie.
I do believe that this stormwater thing is a very important issue at the local level. And I believe this falls to, regulation and enforcement-wise does fall to the local level, and I do not agree with piling these costs onto the county. There's 13 townships, city of Traverse City, and 2 villages. That's 16 units. We don't want them all coming down here for various reasons, trying to get the PAO to handle their legal work. That's my feeling on it.
Any other discussion? We will have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yep.
Inman?
Yes.
Rennie?
No.
Lathrop?
Yes.
Max Bauer?
Yes.
Wheelock?
No.
Lemkool?
No. Motion carries, I think.
Yep.
Yes,
4-3.
4 to 3.
All right. Motion carries.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is the administrative letter requesting beach monitoring is on your page 85. Need approval for that?
So moved.
Support? Motion by Rennie, support by Wheelock. Any discussion? All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Aye.
Good listening. Motion carried. Next is December claim summary that has been handed out. Mr. Bott?
Yes, I need your approval on the December claims totaling $6,692,132.73.
Move for approval as presented by the Finance Director.
Support. Support by Wheelock. All those in favor, roll call, please.
Inman,
Yes.
Rennie,
Yes.
Lathrop,
Yes.
Max Bauer,
Yes.
Wheelock,
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas,
Yep.
Lemko.
Yep. Next is the budget adjustments to be distributed. Mr. Bott also.
You do have a number of additional budget adjustments on your desk. I apologize. Dave and I just finished these up this
Necessary.
afternoon. So I did not have a chance to email them to you, so if you have any questions. What I was trying to do here, capturing as much activity, we had a claims and accounts run today. You basically need to look at all the budgets. The first one is the general fund to make sure that you don't have, an excess of expenditures over amounts appropriated. So I'm going through all of the funds and making sure that we have enough budgeted to cover, if we spend more than we have budgeted, we have a situation that the state doesn't appreciate and we get written up in our audit report. But I have reviewed all of the funds, and I know there's 9 pages here, so if you have any questions, I would.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the budget adjustments as presented by the Finance Director, as presented.
Support by Max Bauer.
Yes.
The only question I have is what is EMPG on the next to last page in the Health Department?
That's the emergency management planning grant. It's a federal fund that pays for part of, but not all of, our emergency management coordinator. We got a little bit of extra money this year, and we're getting a little bit more than we normally get. And Jerry was using those funds to cover part of the item that was approved last week, the
Code Red.
Code Red
Okay.
system.
Cool. Any other discussion?
Dean, do you expect that we will see another budget adjustment probably in January that'll be retroactive into 2012, or you think this will be the last one?
No, after December 31st, we don't make any more. I'm not anticipating, I've gone through all the budgets, I've looked at them pretty close. It's impossible to know everything that's out there, but I think we're pretty good with these. And no, I'm not bringing any more back for 2013.
Okay.
Knock on wood.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Rennie,
Yes.
Lathrop,
Yes.
Max Bauer,
Yes.
Wheelock,
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas.
Yep.
Inman,
Yes.
Lemko.
Yes. Very good. Motion passes. Any new business?
Under unfinished business, I have an item.
Oh, excuse me, unfinished business, okay?
Just a quick request of the administrator, when we get to the January organizational meeting, we would probably have to, as the chairman would know, we would probably have to discuss the budget dates as we're going to address the 014 budget. And if he could be kind enough to get us a copy of the original memo he sent out to the departments in terms of the direction to us again, and then that would help us in deliberating exactly what our expectations would be as we move forward for January of 2014 in meeting with the departments
Okay.
before we schedule those meetings.
Okay.
So So if he can get
So
that.
noted.
So if he can get that into the
Yeah.
get that into the packet as well as getting it to us beforehand.
I agree with Larry on that. I'd also like to have a little input. I did read that letter, and it came from Dave. We appreciate him sending that out, but there might be some things we might want to add or look at a little differently.
Yeah.
So some
I
of
mean,
us
it was
are
just
kind
a
of in
sample or
between.
example
I
of what you
understand.
might send out.
I'm not sure the best way to convey that back to you, what that would be if we had some input.
Commissioner Lathrop.
Yeah, and I'm interested in doing this within 3 months versus 6 months, so we use less of our money that we took from our fund. I'm willing to spend the extra hours if you guys are, so I don't know if you could maybe, I don't know if I can ask David to do things about it, but if you could maybe suggest a
Couple of different timeframes.
yeah, so that we get it done faster.
Yeah, we can, and that should be part of the discussion at our
Organizational meeting.
Okay,
second
thank you.
meeting.
Thank you.
And come prepared
Yes.
as to what dates would work for you to be able to put that together, and what times that you would like to be able to do that, too.
I'll do any date or any time.
Okay?
Okay.
Mr. Wheelock?
Well, I think the important piece is, I think, before we can start scheduling meetings with any of the departments, we have to, have a meeting amongst ourselves and determine what our goals are.
That's my point.
That's right.
And we can't, we can't say, okay, we're gonna schedule the first meeting and we're gonna ask the sheriff to be here and explain his budget. We need to try to figure out what our expectations are coming out of this process.
Exactly.
Okay.
Before we can do that.
Good
All
point. Yep, real good point.
Okay? Mr. Benda, do you have anything? Any comments on that?
No, I can provide the original memo that I developed to go out to the departments. In response to Commissioner Rennie's comment, I think that if they have other things that they want to look at or other ways to structure those meetings, you can look at the memo and you can see what I've put on there. We want to talk about your staffing, we want to talk about your, your general mission and how you provide those services to the county. But if there's more things that you want, either get those to me or bring them to the meeting so that we can, tweak that memo. And I anticipated that would come out from the chair, not from me, because this is the board's meetings.
Yes.
And as far as a schedule, I can work with Chris and, well, I can't work with Chris. Chris is gone. But we can work on putting together a schedule with each department on a 6-month time frame or a
Hopefully 90
3-month
days.
time frame.
3 months would be.
How many hours,
3 months.
try and
Everybody's
figure
willing
out
to
how
do-
many hours,
Everybody's willing
who
to do
would fall
shorter.
on what dates,
Get it-
or what.
Yep.
Yeah, get it done.
Yeah.
The sheriff is going to take a little bit longer than Veterans Affairs, for example. I mean, it's just the way it is. There's some departments that are going to take a lot more time than some other departments. So you can squeeze a bunch of small departments in, maybe into one meeting, and maybe one department into another meeting.
I got you.
Okay?
Makes sense.
Other discussion, Mr. Rennie?
So we're going to discuss this at our organizational meeting?
Yes.
Is that what you'd suggest?
Yes.
Okay? Come prepared.
I'll be prepared.
Any other unfinished business? Okay, any new business? Next is second public comment.
Good talk at the second public comments. No one ever does. No one stays around long enough. Elisa Kropa, one of your County Parks Commissioners, here to talk about your organizational meeting, since I won't be there because it's at 8 a.m. And so I wanted to speak in support of Christine being reappointed to the Parks and Rec Commission. I read through the agenda packet and noticed that there was a change in just one commissioner on one committee for the second part of your term. And knowing that you typically are appointed for 2-year terms to commissions, I was kind of surprised by that. The reason I say this is because we have kind of a new day in parks starting in January, and a lot of the problems we've had, I think, are over. I think we've worked things out, and I want to have the opportunity to finish the projects we started with the commissioners that we started them with. Parks is very heavily going to be involved in the budget process. There's a lot of places we can cut to help you, and I think Christine's an integral part in that, especially with looking into cutting funding in regards to the pool. There's money that can be saved there, and her knowledge on the pool is above and beyond the other 9 of us put together that are on that commission. So when you go to your organizational meeting in January, just want to ask you to maybe consider keeping our Parks Commission intact and letting us have the opportunity to show you that we can finish what we started. And that's it. So thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public? Next is Commissioner.
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up. Sorry about that.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Aye.
I wasn't planning on speaking. I actually came for another reason earlier. The Parks and Rec Board, and no disrespect to you, but I've been on it just a little bit longer. And this is no disrespect to you either, Christine, but we have really, oh gee, the cameras are on. We've really struggled. The last meeting was much better. Have to be careful here. I think that there is a real personality conflict. We have a couple people just plain don't like each other, just to be very black and white. And I actually saw this before I went on the board, and one of the reasons when I interviewed was that I wanted to try to make peace and quiet and make it a better board. I haven't been able to do that, and I've tried really, really hard. I think we're a good board, and I think that our hearts are in the right place, but we have a couple personalities that just absolutely, the bottom line is they're not going to get along. I mean, I know it at this point because I've tried to make it better for a long time. And your board has the power to change directors or whatever, or, contract it out or whatever you decide. But we have really been tied up. And if you look at our meetings, not the last couple, but it's really evident to the point that the public's complaining. You see things in the Record Eagle. I mean, I don't think that's, in fact, I know that's not good for a board. It just tears it apart and it makes it a negative weight. We have to move on, and it's up to all of you to decide how we can do that best. I don't know exactly what the answer is, but I can't make two people really like each other. That's just not going to happen. Thanks.
Excuse me, can you, ma'am, could you tell your name,
I
please?
always forget to do that, and Rodetta Heron, 633 South, Garon, Green Lake Township.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Any other public comment? Next is Commissioner reports. Mr. Rennie.
I went to the Northern Michigan County Association meeting. Big push on these new prosperity regions. Very good program. I think our region number 2, is one of the best in the state. I think Grand Traverse County is the epicenter of this region, which has unlimited potential. I hope we can take advantage of some of this economic development on a regional basis, I understand, but I think it will help all of us. You'll hear more about this in the future.
Any other?
Garon is the
Sonny?
epicenter.
Just a brief comment. Herb and I met last week with David and Jean and John from the Planning Department about a request from the Grand Traverse City Downtown Development Authority to have Grand Traverse County handle the economic development on their behalf. And I see in the ticker the other day with their appointment of their new executive director to replace the late Brian Crow, they've determined that they would be better off to contract with us to handle economic development issues on their behalf. And, I think Herb and I support that decision. And I think our planning staff will do a wonderful job on behalf of the people of Traverse City.
Dan?
Just a question, are they going to pay us for it?
They will contract with us for
Okay,
that,
cool.
yes.
It's a contract.
I think that's cool, yeah.
The The big concern that I have yet is the DDA, I believe, is on board, and I believe their board voted last week to approve that agreement. You know, we specified, or at least I did, that the city of Traverse City also has to sign off.
Any other commissioner reports? We are still looking at negotiating with the pavilions on the Health Department building as to a lease, and we're somewhat in disagreement between Mr. Benda, myself, and Corey. So more to come on that. Otherwise, it was going to be brought before this board tonight, but Corey decided to withhold it at this point, so it'll come up at our first meeting. So still working on this, and the language on that. Okay.
Interesting.
Anybody, any other commissioner reports? Any notices? No closed session. We are adjourned.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Not
Thank you.
bad, 35 minutes.
Wow, is that a record?
That is a
No,
record for this year.
oh, yeah, it is a record for this year.
For recent, anyway.